Welcome to the Expect Success Podcast, a presentation of GeorgeBalek.com with your host, George Balek. This podcast is for all things personal development. Don't expect success, prepare for it. Please welcome your host, George Balek.
Welcome to Expect Success at GeorgeBalek.com. Now, in addition to listening to our podcast, you could also view the video format on YouTube at GeorgeTube.com. Jack Canfield is an American author, motivational speaker, corporate trainer, and entrepreneur. He's the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, which has more than 250 titles and 500 million copies in print in over 40 languages. What's the one common attribute all high achievers share? Persistence. They always find a way to reignite their motivation to achieve their goals, no matter what roadblocks get in their way. Recharge your own motivation to move closer to success with every decision you make. Listen to Jack.
I want to talk about this last principle. It's called practice faithful persistence. It means never, ever, ever give up. Chicken Soup for the Soul was rejected by 144 publishers. 144 publishers said, we don't want to publish a collection of short stories. The title's stupid, Chicken Soup for the Soul. What does that mean? People don't buy collections of short stories. There's never been, successful chain of doing that. So literally, we spent 14 months trying to find a publisher. And we'd go to New York with our agent, and eventually our agent gave us the book back and said, I can't sell this. So we went to the National Booksellers Association convention down in Anaheim. We went from booth to booth to booth for 3 days. And there were 4,000 publishers represented there. And we go, would you publish our book? Would you publish our book? Would you publish our book? And we got no, 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 no. It was late on the third day that a little publisher from Florida, after we'd gotten over 144 rejections, said, we'll read it. And then they said, we said, well, how many copies do you think we'll sell? After they said, yeah, we'll buy it. A couple weeks later, they said, we'll publish it. And they said, well, maybe 20,000 if we're lucky. And we said, our goal is to sell 1.5 million in a year and a half. Now, have you ever told someone your dream and had them laugh out loud at you? He laughed out loud. Now, if we had given up after 100 publishers had said no, I wouldn't be standing here today. Wouldn't have happened. And so you've got to be willing to persevere. Because we didn't take no. See, when the world says no, you say next. Let's practice that. If I say no, you say? Yes. Absolutely. There's only 5 or 6 billion people out there you can go and ask, right? There's over 4,000 publishers just here in the state of California. So what we have is this endless possibility, but you have to persevere. It's as if the universe tests our commitment. And so today we have 147 titles in print. We sold over 115 million copies. We're in 47 languages. And over $1 billion worth of Chicken Soup for the Soul books have been sold worldwide. So if you're willing to decide what you want, believe it's possible, consciously envision the future, feel the feelings of what it would feel like if you had achieved this goal, you can have anything, and then you take action, both obvious actions and inspired actions. You can do anything. Wonderful story that illustrates this is a woman named Madeline Balek, a friend of mine that I interviewed for one of my books. She was very ill, and she and her church prayed for a solution. And they got this inspiration that came through, and it was called royal jelly. And no one knew what royal jelly was. They went to the supermarket. They went to the Smucker's division looking for royal jelly, and they couldn't find it. And eventually someone said, hey, that's the stuff that bees feed the queen bee. And if you get that, it makes them feel really good. And so what you can do is, see if you can find some royal jelly, and it probably has a healing power to it because there's a lot of nutrition in that. So they eventually found some over in England, and she took it, and she got really well. And now she had this inspiration that she wanted to share this with others, She wanted to give it away and help people. So she started this company where she was importing royal jelly and selling it, and it wasn't doing very well. In fact, she was down to her last $400. And she said, I went to my accountant. He said, look, close the company, go buy yourself a B pin or something, with the last $400. Forget it. Well, she didn't want to do that. She wanted to persevere. She wanted to hang in there. She knew there was value. And she went inside and she asked for guidance. And she heard this guidance that literally said radio. She heard it as a voice, radio. And so she thought, what does that mean? I said, radio advertisements. So she went to she was a Christian, so she went to a local Christian radio station, and she said, I'd like to advertise royal jelly. I've got $400. Can we do that? They said, we don't do sexual aid products on the radio. She said, no, it's not that. It is a nutritional product. They said, well, we don't sell food and nutritional products either. And anyway, she kept talking to him, shared the vision. Her enthusiasm caught them, and they said, okay, $400, you can buy about maybe 5 ads with that, and you're going to have to be your own voice, and we can help you because you're a nice person. And so she went in, she made the ads, and it aired in New York. And it just so happened that Pat Boone, who's a singer, is in New York, and he hears the ad. And his daughter, Debbie Boone, was ill at the time, and he wondered if this royal jelly could help her. So he called her up, and he said, I heard your ad on the radio. My daughter's ill. Do you think the royal jelly would help her? And she said, yes, I do. He said, well, send me enough for, 6 months supply. So she did. About 6 months later, she gets a call from Pat Boone. And he said, Debbie's fine, and we attribute a lot of it to the royal jelly. If there's anything I can ever do for you, please let me know. She said, yeah, there's something you can do for me. How about you record an ad on the radio, we'll make a little advertisement in your voice, and you tell the story that your daughter got healed by this. He said, okay, I have a studio in my home, I'll do it. The ad got made, it started airing, and today, Madame Balek is worth tens of millions of dollars because she didn't give up. She had her $400 left, she went inside, she asked for guidance, she got it, she acted on that inspiration, and today she's like helping literally millions of people with her products because she didn't give up. So all of us, you can use this law of attraction to create anything you want in life. You can create the life of your dreams. And by following the core principles of ask, believe, and receive, you're going to create greater happiness, greater joy, greater health, greater relationships, and greater fulfillment in your life. It's possible to have anything you want. And this Dream Big collection, the Living Law of Attraction, has everything in it you need to put all these things into practice. It's all there. It's laid out for you in a step-by-step way. And all you have to do is use the principles in your life, and it will empower you to create anything you want and make your dreams a reality.
That's awesome. Now, for more from Jack Canfield, simply search YouTube and be sure to check out his website, jackcanfield.com. Jack's famous book, The Success Principles, can be found at his website and or Amazon.com. It comes in an audio format too. And remember, as the late great Jim Rohn used to say, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Today you've been hanging out with Jack Canfield. Keep up the momentum. Subscribe to our newsletter so you never miss another episode. We'll catch you on the next show, and thanks a million for listening. See ya.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Expect Success Podcast with your host, George Balek. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please rate, subscribe, and review. And find more great content online at georgebalek.com and on Facebook and Twitter at George Balek. We'll catch you next time. And remember, don't just expect success, prepare for it.